Is the American dream of owning a home dead? I'm sure we all know a potential home buyer who's been looking for well over 2 years. At first, it was the hope that the interest rates would drop, and then that didn't happen. And then it was the hope that the housing prices would drop, and then that didn't happen. And now it's anxiety about looming recession, tariffs, and inflation rising again. How can anyone afford a new home? Though this issue is widespread and can really be applied to many states, Connecticut offers a particularly clear lens through which to examine how the American dream of home ownership is faltering. We're a state with historical wealth, dense suburbs, and strong public services, but it's also grappling with structural housing problems that reflect national trends. Here's a deeper dive into Connecticut's situation. First, let's talk about the affordability crisis. In areas like Fairfield County, housing prices have exploded due to proximity to New York City. There's limited inventory and a lot of high-income transplants. Even modest single-family homes in these towns routinely list for over $800,000. Meanwhile, in other counties in the state, home prices are lower, but they're rising quickly. Many residents in these areas face stagnant wages, and median household incomes have not kept pace, making even affordable homes out of reach for an average worker. Just to give you an example, a household making Connecticut's median income, which is approximately $88,000 a year, often cannot afford the median house price in their town without stretching their finances to dangerous levels. The cost-to-income ratio for housing is now well above sustainable levels, making it nearly impossible for middle-class families to buy without substantial savings or generational wealth. Another issue we face here is restrictive zoning, and that definitely blocks growth. Connecticut's local control model for zoning laws gives individual towns broader power over land use. Over 70% of residential land in many Connecticut towns is zoned for single-family homes only. So this limits denser, more affordable housing developments. And there's plenty of local opposition to multifamily housing. It's often dubbed "not in my backyard." And this opposition has really stalled reforms intended to boost supply and affordability. 81% of Connecticut's residentially zoned land requires at least 1 acre, and 49% of those require 2 acres per home. So why does this matter? Restrictive zoning severely limits the housing supply, driving prices up and excluding first-time buyers or renters from wealthier areas. Another stumbling block we have is lack of new housing construction here. And you got it, I've talked about this one in videos before too. Connecticut simply is not building enough housing. The state has experienced a major drop in the construction of homes under 1,800 square feet, which is traditionally classified as a starter home. Builders are incentivized to develop larger, more profitable homes, leaving entry-level buyers priced out of the market. And on top of that, according to housing analysts, the state has issued about 50% fewer building permits compared to 20 years ago. Builders face high land costs and high labor costs, and they really have limited incentives to develop starter homes or affordable housing units. In 2024, Connecticut needed over 110,000 additional units, and that number continues to grow. So again, why does this matter? Without building new affordable homes, prices rise on the existing stock. And again, younger buyers and first-time buyers are priced out altogether. Another thing we have against us here in Connecticut is that we're full of aging homes, which basically equates to high maintenance costs. About 60% of homes in Connecticut were built before 1970. These older homes often require costly repairs, roofing, insulation, lead paint removal, you name it, they have the problem. So these really make them less appealing to first-time buyers who can barely afford a down payment. Though you definitely can find homes in the state for under $300,000, sometimes you need $50,000 just to make it livable. So why does this matter? The apparent affordability of a $300,000 house is really misleading because with renovation and maintenance costs, it really can create a financial burden. And another great issue we have here is high property taxes. Connecticut, as we know, has some of the highest property taxes in the country. Towns with strong school systems and desirable locations often have tax bills exceeding $10,000 to $15,000 per year, even on a modest home. So many people see that price tag and are just totally turned off and cannot even think about looking at the house. High taxes also push out older and retired populations from towns. When they're on a limited income, they really can't afford to be paying $15,000 a year on their house. And this just further exacerbates the issue. Because what happens is that the retirees or older population move out and new young families move in with children. So taxes go up again to pay for more schools and programs for the growing population. So again, why does this matter? Even if buyers can afford a mortgage, high property taxes raise the overall cost of home ownership substantially. And this particularly hurts middle-income families. Just this past week, I saw on our local news that the town of Hamden, which tends to be moderately affordable, is going to be increasing their property taxes by more than 50%. Can you imagine your property tax bill going up by 50%? And Hamden was kind of like already one of those towns that had higher taxes to begin with. So knowing all this I just told you, how do we begin to fix the problem? One way is in zoning reform at the state level to allow more duplexes, triplexes, and accessory dwelling units. So an accessory dwelling unit really could be an in-law setup, or if you had an extra downstairs in your home that you could rent out almost as an apartment. Also, we could drop the mandated building lot size so that we can allow for more homes to be built in an area. Another idea would be to expand Connecticut's programs that provide low-interest financing or down payment assistance to those that qualify. Helping out with a down payment would alleviate one of the biggest hurdles when people are looking to buy. It really is difficult for people to come up with a lump sum of money like that to put down on a home. Another thing we could do is to incentivize builders to construct below market rate housing, or we could preserve our aging but affordable housing stock with state grants for critical repairs. That way it doesn't become a huge money pit for the homebuyer. And one last idea is to have tax relief programs for first-time or low-income homebuyers, especially in high-tax municipalities. This would really tremendously help them because it would overall reduce their monthly payment. So in Connecticut, the American dream of owning a home is not dead, but it is on life support and has become far less attainable. Without policy shifts such as zoning reform, targeted subsidies for first-time buyers, or incentives for affordable housing construction, home ownership may become a luxury more than a rite of passage for many Americans. So do you think the American dream of home ownership is dying? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking to move to Connecticut, please reach out. I'd love to help you. And until next time, have a great day.